makeup friends, with the Sephora sale starting soon, I wanted to take some time and make some recommendations to you on items that are in my collection that I view as staple products. Let's get into this. As always, I want to start off by welcoming you back to my channel, or if you're new here, then hello and welcome. My name is Kara, and on my channel, we like to mix beauty, brains, and the occasional F-bomb. Now, the makeup that I'm wearing today, I am going to address most of it in these recommendations, but before we hop into that, I want to give you a little bit of information about the upcoming sale. So as in previous sales, there is like a tiered entrance to it. So people who have achieved Rouge status will have first access to the sale starting on November 5th, and their discount amount will be 20%. For people who are at VIB status, the sale begins on November 9th, and the discount amount for you is 15%. And for people who are on the entry level of the Beauty Insider program, your sale starts on November 11th, and the discount is 10%. Across all three categories, the sale ends on November 15th. Now, I know that it is very common for people to put up recommendation videos around these sales, and some of those videos do include a ton of recommendations, and that's not to take away from those creators. But for me, when I'm watching those videos, I can find it to be a bit overwhelming, to be honest. So when I sat down to film this video, I thought very critically about my collection and really pulled items that I have gotten a lot of use out of over a sustained amount of time. So these products are not new to the market. Some of them have been released in 2021, but for the most part, these are older products that I've talked about on my channel before, but that bear repeating because they are ones that have stood the test of time. They have survived multiple massive declutter efforts on my part, and they are products that I just continually come back to and that don't disappoint me. So with that out of the way, let's dive straight into it in no particular order. So first up, let's talk about a foundation, and this one is from Natasha Denona. This is the Foundation X, which I have in the shade 25W. Again, I have talked about this a multitude of times on my channel, but with good reason. It's just a nice glass bottle with a nice pump here. It offers medium buildable up to full coverage. It has a very natural looking finish on the skin. It doesn't offer a ton of radiance, but nor does it super mattify your skin. It just looks like your skin, but enhanced. I like the wearability of it, I like the blendability of it, and the breathability of it. This is one of those foundations that even though it does have a higher level of coverage, it doesn't feel like high coverage on the skin. It's not thick and heavy. By the end of the day, I don't have that urge to just scrub my face clean. It wears nicely throughout the day, it holds up well, and overall, it's just a staple product that I keep returning to. We may as well stick with Natasha Denona because I have another product of hers to recommend, and that is the lipstick that I'm wearing today. It's one of her I Need a Nude lipsticks. This one in particular is in the shade Michelle, and it's just this beautiful brown nude kind of color, which I find goes with pretty much any makeup look. These lipsticks are just so very comfortable on the lips. They have a bit of a satin finish. They wear nicely. They're not the most long wearing, but also they don't dry out the lips. It feels very emollient on the mouth, and it feels more like a lip balm than anything else, but it doesn't slide around. It doesn't like gum up in the corners. It doesn't transfer all over my teeth. It's just a really nice and easy lipstick to wear. I have it in about 4 shades. A lot of their shades do tend to be on the more neutral side of things, so I really think there's something for everybody, and they have a really nice range of depth in terms of their colors. So there's very light nudes all the way up to really dark, deep, vampy shades as well. So again, there's something for everybody. I would love to see her come out with some really bright and fun colors, maybe for spring and summer of 2022. But for now, there is definitely a good selection available, minus like bright neon kind of shades and purples and all that kind of thing. But a girl can hope that those will come eventually. All right, so let's switch gears then and talk about concealer, and this is one that I have done a fully dedicated review of, and I raved about it because it just wore so beautifully throughout the day. No creasing, it held up really well, even over I think 8 or 10 hours. I can't remember how long the wear test was for it, and I was really impressed with the coverage as well. So this is the Teint Idole Ultra Wear All Over Concealer from Lancome, and I have it in the shade 250. And I think I've already just spilled every reason why it is that I recommend it. If you're looking for high coverage that blends out nicely and continues to look good throughout the day, look no further. A little goes a long way, and it really does cover up the dark circles that I have going on under my eyes. But again, it doesn't look dried out, it doesn't look crepey, it doesn't just camp out in all the lines that I have going on under my eyes. It just wears so nicely. I can't help but recommend it. Let's finish up the face products that I have to recommend then. And again, this is one that you've probably heard me talk about on my channel. This is from JOUER, and this is the Champagne and Macarons Sweet Cheek Face Palette. And it comes in two different shades, so there's the lighter version and the deeper version. I have the lighter version here. This is beautiful. This is the bronzer, this is the blush, and the highlighter that I'm wearing today. Everything just blends out so incredibly nicely with this, and this highlighter in particular, oh, it is chef's kiss perfection. This is the shade Citrine, which is available individually. So this retails for $44 Canadian in the palette. The individual highlighter retails for $33. So if you're not interested in all the other products, but you are interested in a new highlighter, you can just buy it as a single and save a little bit of money. But this highlighter, like, it doesn't look like much in the pan, to be honest, but once it's applied, it just gives you that like lit from within kind of look. It can be built up to be very intense and very blinding, or you can sheer it out as well. And it just gives this like healthy, I drink a lot of water and eat a lot of vegetables kind of look. Like, it's just beautiful, and it's a perfect undertone for my skin as well. I think it's described as being like a gold kind of shade, and yet it's not so strongly gold that it looks artificial on the skin. And again, it just blends out effortlessly. So whether you go for the full-size palette or just for an individual highlighter, and I mean, I'm raving about the shade Citrine, but there are a ton of other color options as well. And again, something for everybody. I really don't think you can go wrong with these products. I have not been the biggest fan of JOUER's eyeshadows in the past, but their face products, they have got it nailed. So that leads us to eyes then, and the eyeshadow that I'm wearing today comes from Soft Glam from ABH. So as I said, I looked at products that have just withstood the test of time. This one came out quite some time ago, I want to say 3 years at this point, and yet it's still a palette that I return to over and over again. You can get really dramatic smoky looks out of it, but you can also get really easy day-to-day wear as well. They do have a mini version of it. I obviously didn't buy it because I have the full size, but if you want to save even more money and really just get the essential shades, the mini is an option for you. But this one just has a really nice range of shades. Everything is on that slightly warmer side without being too warm. I happen to really like too warm. Like, I will wear the heck out of red eyeshadow and not think twice about it. But I know a lot of people want a little bit more of a subdued kind of tone, and this one achieves it for you. You've got a really nice mix of mattes and shimmers in here. The mattes do tend to be a little bit softer, a little bit on the more powdery side, and yet I do find that this palette is easier to work with from that perspective than even, say, Modern Renaissance. That one I do find very powdery, but if you just tap off the excess, it's really not an issue. I went in with some of these really dark shades over here to create this look. I didn't have to deal with any fallout or any smudging around, didn't have any frustration in blending it out or building the intensity up. These are just really nice powders to work with. And again, you really can't go wrong with this color story because it's one of those that you can just grab and go, whether you're just pairing a couple of shades together or layering shades up to create a more intricate kind of look. This is going to get it done. And this is just one of those palettes that I can sit down in the morning, grab it, and a look just comes together in no time. So definitely had to recommend this one to you guys. Then for eyeliner today, I mean, hold on to your butts. This is a very expensive product, but if you are able to save some money on it and you're in the market for a new liner, this is one that I recommend. So this is a dual-ended eye defining pen from Tom Ford. It has like a $75 Canadian price tag, so very hefty price tag. I kind of justify it in the fact that you are getting 2 liners for the price of 1, so that helps. But also, I've had this since the springtime. I wear it all the time, and it's not showing any signs of drying out anytime soon. So it's still going strong, so I'm choosing to view it as a bit of an investment piece. I have no regrets in purchasing it, and in fact, I like it so much that it's made its way into this video. So let's just talk about the two ends. They are both black, but on the one end here, you can see it's a little bit nubbier. It's a little bit sturdier, so if you're doing like really precise detailed work, this can get her done because that tip isn't gonna like flop around on you. And then on the other end, it's a little bit longer and a little bit more pliable of a brush, I guess you could call it. And it lines the lids really easily. It just follows that lash line. It doesn't get sticky on top of itself. It doesn't smudge around, it doesn't flake off. I will see a little bit of wear over the course of the day, particularly like in this portion of my lid. I do have very hooded eyes, so as you can see, possibly the shape, like I have to do like that bat wing shape with my eyeliner, and then a lot of that does spend time up in the folds of my skin, and that's where you will see some wear. But the actual wing itself and along the lash line, it still looks as fresh at the end of the day as it does at the beginning. So I think that the wear that I'm seeing is really just the result of friction and not just how this eyeliner wears. So although it does have a very hefty price tag, and I fully recognize that, I did want to include it in this video because I do think it does offer really good value, and I really do enjoy using this product. So that brings us to the last item, which is a mascara, and really should come as no surprise to anybody, especially if you've seen any of my monthly favorites from, say, March until recently. I think it made its way into the favorites, I know, at least twice, possibly even 3, before I figured I had to move on to something else because it was just becoming redundant, and that is the Bite Beauty UPSWING Mascara. I don't know what else I can say that I haven't already said. This one lifts my lashes, adds length, adds volume, doesn't flake, doesn't irritate my eyes, doesn't just like rain down on my cheeks throughout the day. It doesn't clump everything together. It's just like my perfect mascara. And in fact, I am going to be picking one up myself during the sale because this one is on its very last legs. One of my lovely subscribers actually sent me this tube and it arrived on my birthday. I don't know if that was by design or just a happy little accident, but I've been wearing the hell out of this since then. My birthday's in June. Here we are, the very beginning of November, and I have used this pretty much daily, and it shows. I mean, it is definitely starting to dry out. It is definitely on its last legs, so I do want to pick up a replacement for it, and I cannot recommend this strongly enough to you guys. All right, and with all that said, there we have it. Like I said, I wanted to keep this sort of very reined in. There are definitely other items that I could recommend, and there are a million palettes sold at Sephora that I love, but I really just wanted to share with you items that I just keep returning to over and over again. And in fact, I would ask you guys to leave a comment down below of some of the items that are staples in your collection so that we can have a bit of a collective recommendation list going on. So please feel free to do that. But for now, I'm going to wrap the video up. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I will see you in my next one. Until then, just be a decent human being. Bye for now.